everybody, I'm Robbie from Detroit Driver. I hope you're staying happy and healthy. And today we're going to spec another car. I made a video last time on the Ferrari 812 Competizione Aperta and kind of explain the purpose of this series. And today we're going to stick with Ferrari theme and we are going to look at the Ferrari SF90. So let's do it. So here we are on Ferrari's configurator page. You can see all the models that you can spec right here. But as I said, we'll do the SF90 Stradale. So again, Ferrari has two different types of configurators, the 2D and the 3D. The 3D is a little bit more comprehensive, some more options, but it's just so laggy on my computer. And after doing it last time, I think I'm just going to try and stick with the 2D configuration. And if there's something that I can't spec using this, I'll probably just try and verbally add it instead of trying to figure out how to do it in the 3D experience. But if you're doing it on your own, I highly recommend the 3D experience because it's just super cool. So we'll start with this, the 2D version. So as you can see, before you kind of jump into it, you can pick between the basic and the Assetto Fiorano, which is a special package that you can get with the SF90. I guess we'll start with this Assetto Fiorano. Basically what this does is it adds a little bit more aero to the car. But as far as practicality purposes, I would probably just consider getting the basic configuration because at least with the Assetto Fiorano, it's very track focused, and part of what you get with that is a lack of suspension lift. So here in Michigan, where there's a lot of potholes or road bumps or whatever, probably not the most practical thing if you want to drive it on the road to get the Assetto Fiorano package. So I guess I might hold off on speccing that, and we'll just go with the basic. So I guess we'll just click that. All right, so here is the original car. Like I said, I think this car would look best in red, but for the purposes of entertainment, I will try to be a little bit ambitious and step out of that sort of comfort zone. So before we mess around with the colors, I'm just going to kind of stick with what I know is going to work. So we want the Nero roof, the bicolor roof. Of course, we'll add carbon fiber to the car, and then we'll go to the wheels and calipers. Again, I really like black wheels over anything else. You can see that they kind of have this cool forged diamond cut look wheel, which actually does look really, really good in person, but I think I still would prefer these carbon fiber dark wheels. They just look so cool, and I love that 12-spoke design. And then I think for this, I will go with the red calipers. Looking over some of the colors, I think it'd be best to start with this. So other than red, what would I possibly think of for this car? I would potentially consider like the yellow, like the Giallo Modena, and then I'd change the brakes to a yellow, but I kind of want to step out of that. White for me is pretty much always a no-go. I do not like white cars. So we'll scroll down and kind of some of the metallic cars. We could do a dark kind of a stealth spec, which would be cool. And then you could go with a really bright red interior. But I don't know if I necessarily want to do that here, although I do think it does look pretty cool. Let's see what else. All right, so another thing we could do is totally do like a gray. And you can see that here, that would look pretty cool. Again, still stealthy, but kind of a little less like just all black. But I'm thinking we could play around with this color called Avorio, which looks like a cream color. I've only seen one other car that has kind of ever looked in like a creamish color, and that was a Heritage Edition 4 GT that I just saw this past summer. So I do not know like what this actually looks like on the SF90. I don't like love it, but I do think it's pretty interesting. And I do like kind of the red contrast with it and the dark wheels. And then we pull in the black contrast roof. So I'm thinking that maybe for this, that is what I'm going to stick with. We could do a silver or something, or even a metallic gold. That could look interesting, but I think I think for this, I'll go with the uh, Avorio. Although I will admit, um, this color, the Rosso Fiorano, looks incredible in person. It's one of my favorite colors, and they do make it look really, really neat on this configurator. But as I promised, I would try and stay away from red, even though this isn't the typical Rosso Corsa. I will try and stay away from red for all of these purposes. So I think going forward, we'll stick with the OVO Rio, just because it's pretty unique. Although the dark British green looks good, but just not for me on this car. Maybe some other Ferraris, but not on the SF90. And I did blue on the last configuration, so I'm trying to stay away from blue as well. Let's move on. We did the roof, we did the wheels, some bodywork elements. Again, very simplified because it's the 2D configurator. So it just says, do you want carbon fiber? Of course, why not? And then our exhaust pipes, it looks like you can get them in standard titanium exhaust. Of course, I'm going to go with black to just tie in sort of the other darker elements of the car. Then we can move on to some interior colors. We have a couple different seats here. I am not a fan of Ferrari's Daytona seats, to be honest, but I do like these like standard racing seats. They look a little bit more comfortable than the other kind of Ferrari style racing seats because of this leather here. So I don't like the Daytona pattern. You could go with sort of this style seat, which looks a little bit more comfortable. It might make sense to stick with this since we're not getting the Fiorano package, but we'll just go with the standard racing seat. Now, since we did do a light color on the outside and we brought in the red calipers, I would totally be okay with pulling in a bright kind of red interior and then having the black contrast as well. I think that would work. I don't think it would be too much, but again, I won't let me really look with the window down in the color, but I think this would be pretty cool. Of course, I would want to add red seat belts, but I'm thinking, yeah, you either got to go with red or black. I don't know what the stitching options are. You could go with black and then do a red stitch and a red seat belt. That could look cool also, but again, for the purposes of this configuration, I think I'll just go with the bright red leather. Let's see if we have any other choices. Of course, I guess carbon fiber interior upgrade. Here, since we're pulling in red, I think I actually don't mind the black rev counter. I think that actually looks pretty cool, but I would also consider potentially looking at a red rev counter for that too. And then the carpets, of course. I think that's too much red to go with the Rosso, so I'm just going to stick with the Nero black, and they get less dirty that way too. So this is our car. Let's look at the outside one last time. So we got this cream Avorio color with the carbon fiber black looking rims and the red calipers. I think it looks really cool. Again, you could add the Assetto Fiorano package, I believe is what it's called, which would add sort of a silver kind of front design over this part, and then you could add a red decal to that, which I would do to pull in, and then it would have an extra fin that could pull in some more red details too. But I think if I were to get the SF90, at least living in Michigan, I would just get the base one and not the Fiorano pack. And then if we look at the interior, if that loads, we can see that we have the red and the black, and I just think it looks really classy and looks good. But again, I think it's cool. I don't love the spec. It's not my absolute favorite. I think it's just really hard to beat, the car when it looks like that in the Rosso Corsa. But I was happy with kind of adventuring out and trying some different colors as well, as we can see. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoy this again. It's really fun speccing these Ferraris and kind of looking at all the options that you can get, even though they are in the configurators limited over what, if I was a real client, could potentially look into. So stay tuned. I don't know what car we'll do next, but we'll I think we'll shift away from the Ferrari brand and look at maybe do a McLaren or Aston Martin or something else that we can find. So thank you again for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you want me to do a car, please let me know, and let me know sort of how you would spec these cars as well. So see you next video.